Game on! Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I am so excited to have on a 37 and 39-year-old because a guy just bailed on us. One comes from Caerphilly and the other from Aberdare, Wales. They set up the powerhouse Aberdare Skip Rats, and the squad just celebrated their 10-year reunion, kind of like when I go back for the goat, and have had some legends on the club over the years, such as my Welsh creepy stalker neighbor. And they have promised me a Walton 18 Skip Rats jersey to help create that coolest jersey collection in the world. Welcome on, Tony Woodward and Gethin Roberts.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers.
Hey,
Yeah.
I get it now we know each other, I guess. Gethin, you were who stirred this up. You let me know the Skip Rats were having a 10-year reunion and you asked for a video for the squad, eh?
Yeah, I was obviously listening to your podcast and I thought, let's try and reach out to you to try and give a secret message to the boys. And, and then on the day, you wrote back saying you would, which I knew you probably would. And then, message the boys then as soon as you posted it to me, give them a sneaky video. And I think it made a lot of their days.
So you guys got a group chat fired up just like every hockey team should?
Yeah, I think we got two of them. We got
one
on WhatsApp and one on Spawn.
That's it, yeah.
Spawn, never heard of that one. I find it interesting when I got out of the game. I left the Cardiff Devils group chat once I was done. And then I was no longer in really any group chats. And it's amazing from doing the podcast how many group chats I'm back in. I bet you I'm in about, I'd say over 10 group chats. And I tell you, hockey guys can be really funny in a group chat.
We got a few Leaf fans in our ranks, and they get constant abuse for obvious reasons.
So I get into how we know each other. Tony, nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
So you were one of the founders of the Skip Rats, I'm hearing?
Yes, it was me, Adam, obviously can't make it, one of my good friends, Alan, cousin Rob, and another good friend, Josh Cummins. We set the Skip Rats up, obviously 2015. The name came about, if you remember the Big Blue Tent, Godland. We were skating about after the game, throwing names out for a hockey club. Just Aberdare Skip Rats stuck.
I actually had that written down. How did you guys come up with the name Skip Rats? And are you telling me you're skating around in the Big Blue Tent talking about hockey team names?
Yep.
Were you guys in blue skates and pushing a penguin?
I was close. I'm sure one of us must have been in blue skates.
Oh, those things are so terrible. I should almost wear a pair of blue skates for the goat's testimonial. See if I can still run amok. So you fired it up then, and that would have been like, I find it interesting in Wales, but more specifically Cardiff, from when I went there 10 years ago, and we were in the Big Blue Tent, and I really didn't see a lot of minor hockey or kids playing hockey or even men playing hockey. Now I have a Cardiff Centaurs jersey. The Cardiff Canucks have my logo on every shoulder. And there's a lot of hockey happening in Cardiff, Wales these days. And I say winning gets people loving hockey, and and it changes their mood when they think about hockey. And I thought that 2014-15 Devils team really caused a stir in Cardiff, Wales.
Yeah, there was. I used to volunteer in the rink, in the Big Blue Tent and the ice arena. As soon as you guys came, your generation of Devils, they started winning, they started playing big, playing fast, and all of a sudden people are flocking in, and then next thing you know, there's a backlog of season tickets just because the Devils are the Devils again.
Yeah, it was fun to be a part of, because I remember going there the start of that season, and the year before the fans had like boycotted because of how the ownership was dealing with players and stuff. And I remember at the start of the season, there were not many fans at the preseason games. And then all of a sudden we started running amok, and we went on a heater, winning like most of our games the second half of the year and through the Challenge Cup. And man, it was packed in there. And come near the end of the year, you'd be sitting in the locker room, and like felt like the ceiling was going to collapse because everybody was stomping their feet. The music's going. It felt like the building was shaking.
Let's be fair, it might have collapsed. Number 10. But yeah.
And what's neat is they repurposed that big blue tent and took it to Leeds, and now Leeds is winning the trophy every year. That building just loves it.
Yeah.
So Gethin, were you watching the Devils back then too?
Yeah, I always say to people I was made for the Devils because I was born in 1986 when they were formed. My favorite player for the Devils of all time is Vezio Saccatini, who wore number 28. And I was on the 28th of December I was born, so it was literally a match made in heaven for me. So I've been going down there. Oh, I started watching in the very old ice rink, the Welsh National Ice Rink. Just after we had to go down a league because of money problems and what have you. We were in the British National League, and that's when I started going to the games to watch. And I just fell in love with the sport. It was all down, to be honest, to Mighty Ducks, though. I remember watching Mighty Ducks as a kid.
Yeah, you're around the same age as me. That was a big movie.
Yeah. And when I saw Mike Modano there and Basil McRae, is it Basil McRae? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, Basil McRae on the screen. I kind of went on the internet then just to watch some videos and became a Dallas Stars fan because of Mike Modano. And followed ice hockey all around the world, really. So
when you talk about being born for the Devils because you were born in '86 and then on the 28th, my boys just won the WOAA, and it's back to back for me as coach. I had 3 returning players this year. Last year we won it. Then we went to All Ontario's and beat everybody. We went 16-0 in the playoffs. And those guys are my brothers for life. And the kids I coached last season come and help me coach this year. They help me with my tryouts. They want to talk about players, and they're into hockey, and I loved it. And I put in my name to coach quite often in minor hockey, and it hasn't gone so well because it's a new town. People don't know me, and whatever, pick your local guys. But the guy last year that they gave the team to asked me to help right away and said, let's tell everybody we're co-coaches. And his son had asked me to coach. He asked me to coach with him and do it together. And then he was a great guy that was open-minded, and we did it together. And then this year was the first time they gave me the team I asked for. And we just won again, and we're going back to All Ontario's again. And it's the last year of the Kincardine Canucks. And they're changing the name and bringing in new towns to become a bigger center. And I would think it'd be really neat to go back to back to end the Kincardine Canucks. And the tournament is where I was born, you know? So sometimes it feels like the stars are aligning. Now it's not like I get to go out and play. I just hope my boys are ready. And I think they love hockey and they're having fun when they come to the rink. So I hope we can pull her out coming up this weekend, because it sure would be fun.
Oh, big fingers crossed here.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But I tell you, the coaching's really bit me. I had an interesting one last weekend. I've been helping the Senior A Ripley Wolves team here, and I thought it was coming full circle. I used to play with them. It's a lot of the same guys. The new coach asked me to help him and then respected my opinion, and then I kept asking more and more of me and wanting my ideas and stuff. And we were down 3-0 in the finals, and we're playing a really good team, best of 7. And the coach got suspended because the refs made a terrible call, and he let them know that they made a terrible call, and they suspended him. So then going into game 4, he called me and said, "I want you to be the head coach next game. I want you to do it all." I'm like, okay. I'm like, but we can do it together. Like, you can still be in the room and give your speeches and stuff, and I'll just run it. And he's like, "No, you're doing it. You're doing it from start to finish, and you're doing the speeches." So then I went in and did it like how I do. I wore my Crocs, and it was interesting coaching a men's team with 4 lines and playing 320s. It was different than coaching under 13, but did everything I could, and I did really enjoy it. I felt like my brain was firing in the hockey way more than it has in a long time, trying to decide lines and who's going next and how to get the best people out there, who's rested, who's not. And I really, really enjoyed it. But We were down, we were up 1-0 after the first. Then they scored 3 quick ones in like 7 minutes at the start of the second. And then we were chasing it the rest of the way. We made it 3-2. So we get a face off in there and 2.5 minutes left. I pull the goalie, take a timeout, drop a play or where everybody should be. And yeah, then they scored 2 empty netters, and my debut coaching senior lost the trophy. So I'm 0-1 and lost a trophy already. Fuck.
Good start. Great start.
Tough start, eh? God. But anyways, long story though, because I'm going to make my excuses now that we lost, was we lost our best player before the finals, fractured his shoulder in the last game of the semis, and then played the rest of the game with a fractured shoulder because he's a gamer and an animal, but plays hockey the right way, is winner, and is a game changer. And he's been on before, Ethan Skinner. But he's like having another coach on the bench and is the leader you want. And then losing that guy for a best of 7 and you're playing a great team. It's like, it was an uphill battle when you don't have your best player to get things started, you know?
Yeah.
So anyways, back to the Skip Rats. I mentioned your age, 37 and 39. I'm not playing ball hockey at that age. So how's the conditioning levels on the Skip Rats?
I've had to retire, unfortunately. I stood on a stick and completely ruptured my patella tendon. Partial MCL, partial LCL, so I've had to formally retire.
How long ago was that?
6 months and a bit. It's quite recent. I'm still limping around. I've gone back to ref and coach, but yeah, I'm just limping around. Can't really move that fast anymore.
Yeah.
Knees like a balloon most times.
I understand.
Yeah. Recovery's slow when you're in your 30s, unfortunately.
I got a couple pictures from in the locker room where kids came in for pictures right before I was done, and my leg is completely wrapped with ice. And I remember those last few games, my knee was like a balloon. And it sucks when your body gets old, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, it's awful. So my roller coaster of positions, I guess. I was a D man for a long time. COVID hit. Our netty dropped out. Just like didn't like the whole COVID thing. I ended up going in net, getting somewhat good. And then I went out one session to play with Adam and one of the other players because I never get to play with both of them. And then last 5 minutes, I just step on a stick and stack into a ball.
I hear you. Yeah, those things happen.
Yeah.
I was watching these guys play for the Ripley Wolves in the playoffs, and like they're playing for free. They play because they love it. It's full contact, full mucking it up. And these guys go out there and put their bodies on the line, and they do it for free. And they'd have to go to work the next day, and they'd be fighting each other. And it's amazing watching guys play hockey just for the love, where there's no money involved, and they're just playing for pride and a trophy. Like I loved it. I really enjoyed watching boys muck it up for free again, you know? So Gethin, what type of player are you? A stay-at-home D-man, just cross-checking people in the low back in front of the net, whacking the back of their legs, or what?
Yeah, I am stay at home. I tend to stay back as much as I can to help the goalies out when they need it. Block shots, poke check as much as I can.
Yeah, get it up to the forwards.
Yeah, I tend to walk away with quite a lot of bruises. But it's part of the fun, isn't it? So
you were underselling yourself, Geth. He's basically like Richie, unsung hero.
Is that right?
To be honest, I guess now it's time to be honest before I call you out on it. You are the unsung hero. You do the little things right. You block. I've seen you take shots and then literally get straight back up, break out, pass, and go. Was it last year, last year? Maybe 2 years ago, you went our D-Man of the year?
It was this year and 2 years ago. The first year, it was a joint win with Ross, who's also a D-Man. And then he won it the following year, and then I won it this year.
So they're a ball hockey league, you got awards and the full deal, eh? And now you even have like swag, you got a jumper on, eh?
Yeah. We so we do our own internal awards night.
Why not, right? Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, but so every game we play, we'll get like I get votes in and sort of monitoring the chat for things that happen and events and just tagging them in our awards chat. We did have the South Wales Ball Hockey League. It sort of died with COVID, but it's slowly firing back up now. There's me, the Carmarthen Ravens and the Cardiff Bay Thunder, and the sort of GMs of the club are in talks now just to get the league back up and running because we kind of all miss playing hockey.
The Ravens, I don't know if you played them this season, but
Yeah.
I sponsor a player on their team. Did you know that?
I
Yeah,
knew that. Yeah.
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 He's a character.
He reached out. He had mentioned he was starting to play because of he had heard hockey is fun from me talking. So there's been a few people over my years doing this that have been fans and they didn't play hockey. And then when I kept talking about how fun it was to be on a team and play with your friends, there's been a few people start playing hockey as adults or as kids because of that. And when he started playing hockey at whatever age he is now and asked me to sponsor him, I'm like, well, if I convinced you to play hockey and it only costs a few quid to sponsor you, I'm in. And to see a ball hockey jersey in Wales with my logo on it is hilarious. So you guys have sponsors and stuff too, I saw in your jerseys.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a ride over the years with our jerseys. I know, so we set the club up in 2015. Geth came along 2016. I've played with Geth in the old Devils setup. Initially, we had a grey and yellow jersey sponsored by Griffin Mill. We had a few of the players' sponsors on there as well.
Mhm.
I saw the NHL Military Appreciation Night, and one of them had digital camo. I was like, I need a Skip Rats jersey in digital camo. I don't care if I'm the only one. That's what I need. So those sponsors are all club players, and then the new white ones, we had Admiral sponsor us. One of the players' dads works there, and he sort of hooked us up. So we got Admiral across the top there.
That's cool. So you guys are sending me a Walton 18 Skip Rats jersey. Is this true?
Yeah, which one do you want?
What's that?
Which one do you want? Do you want the
Well,
grey, yellow, camo, white, whatever looks good?
beggars can't be choosers, man. I'm just trying to build the coolest jersey collection in the world. And um, I was the first podcast in the world to sponsor a pro hockey player. And Critch and I started the chocolate throwing fun in Manchester, and I was on the back of his jersey last year. And he's retiring. This is it for him. And it's sad when you start something like that and you watch these guys' careers and journeys, and you get a bit invested when you've started so much fun together. And he's hanging him up, and man, what a player he's been for Manchester. I feel that's going to be a tough loss for the Storm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
But then
Um,
right beside that jersey, I got Raw Raws, who wore number 18 in Cardiff because of me, which is hilarious. And then, I actually, for people listening, I'm actually trying to get to Cardiff, Wales for Joey Martin's testimonial. Minor hockey is really expensive. 2 kids is really expensive. All of it really is. And to get to Cardiff, Wales, well, I need to raise enough money through raffles to get there. So I am raffling off a Walton 18 jersey. You can find it on my Instagram or Twitter, but it's a Walton 18 Two Ales and Hockey Tales jersey. And if people don't buy tickets, then I can't come, So that raffle is up, and it goes till the 10th. So we need people to buy tickets so then I can get to Cardiff, Wales, because I really want to go see all the boys and run amok and hit Chippy Lane.
oh, Chippy Lane.
I
Yeah,
was waiting for Chippy Lane.
Should we talk Chippy Lane, Gethin? Have you been there? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I used to go there quite a lot when I was younger. I haven't been on a night out in Cardiff for many years now.
Oh, are you all grown up now?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I understand. I just talk to people into my computer now to get out.
But it's a very rare night tonight because I've got 3 kids. I got a 5-year-old, a 15-year-old, and an 11-year-old, and they're all being pretty quiet.
Ah,
But normally they're
don't
running
jinx it, man.
around.
Don't jinx it.
well, sounds like a busy household. So what do you do for a real world job?
I've gone back to my old comprehensive school. So I'm working in the office there. But I've had a couple of few jobs over the years. But my main job that I done the most was I was a brewer. I used to brew beer for a small brewery in Caerphilly called the Celt Experience. They then went under, and I started working for a tiny rebel brewery in
I think
Newport.
I think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago I was talking to Todd, and all of you guys were doing really well in the standings and what have you, and I just started happened to talk to Todd, and then the next game I went to, I think I took 2 cases of beer and gave it to him and said, "Give this to the boys." I don't know if any of you had it or if he kept it for himself and, and drunk.
Probably would have been after my time.
But yeah, I left them a couple of years ago now, and I'm working in the school because it just helps around having the kids.
Yeah.
So I'm separated, and I got the kids 50% of the time, so it just fits all in well, you know. And I got every Thursday off to go training for Skip Rats, and
Right.
every weekend off and holidays off as well for tournaments and any games that we can get our hands on. Really,
It's nice to have a schedule that works for doing the things you want to do.
yeah,
I find it neat. Speaking of Todd, was I've only worked for one company since retiring. I've been with them now almost 10 years or 9, I guess. But Todd wrote me a really nice reference letter when I left to use to join the real world. And it did help me get the job. And what he said in there, well, it's really nice and tough read. But I feel like I've done what he said I would do because I've been with them 9 years and it's going well, and I do whatever they ask of me. But I'm having a golf tournament May 24th to try and bring my hockey family together in the middle of nowhere, and my company is sponsoring my golf tournament as well as 2 other unions that work at the nuclear plant around here. And it was all word of mouth that I was going to raise money for the hospital. And then my company sponsored me. And then the power workers union says they're going to sponsor me. And now another union reached out and they want to sponsor me. And it was because the guy had listened to the podcast. I think, holy shit, people are actually listening to me around here. I thought I was doing this anonymously. So now, like, I think I might actually leave a mark of like actually being able to raise some pretty good money for the
yeah,
hospital. Between the 3, as of right now, if they all put their money where their mouth is, it would be $4,500 that I'd be able to donate to the hospital, and that's before doing any fun games and trying to raise money the day of. So
nice.
it's pretty neat because I was new to this town, nobody knew me, and now to be able to do that in a small town, which the hospital needs help. I think it'd be pretty neat. And I always say it takes everybody to win. And these people reaching out to me saying they want to help is, you know,
Yeah.
feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you playing as well.
Oh God, no.
Oh, I was going to say, because if you are, you're going to have to do the trick, the video I sent you the other day. Yeah.
No, I am a coach now. It's really bit me. I love
Yeah.
it. I love coaching kids. I love coaching the adults too at the Wolves. It was totally different coaching each team and what you had to teach, not teach the adults, but how to win the game and what's important at each age group that I find you need to work on. And but then the main thing for me is seeing a team become a team and like they're brothers on and off the ice. And it's not just about when you're at the rink, and we're not just showing up for a practice for an hour and that's what we do for hockey. It's like we're a team everywhere. You're a team at school, you're a team at the hotel, and we do things together away from the rink because I think that's what hockey's about. And then I think you win more when you do that stuff.
Yeah.
So Tony, this is kind of your squad, but now you're retired. So are you going to coach or what are you going to do?
Yeah, I was in a leg brace for what, 3 months. So I was, yeah, very, very immobile, but I've gone back. I think I did the last session December before awards night. So I'm full-time coaching, and I ref the scrimmage then as well.
Right.
We go on.
What do you do for a real world job?
I work in cybersecurity.
Okay.
I basically sit at home pretending I know what I'm doing. For a few
Trying to
hours.
protect people like me.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's so you've been doing that a while then?
Yeah, left uni when did I graduate? 2018. Bounced around a little bit. Done a few sort of niche roles in cybersecurity. So I was doing incident response, and then I moved over to like policy, breach analysis, and all proactive security, I suppose you could call it. Yeah, it's brilliant. Like I work from home, so the kids are not a problem. I can do the school runs and they come upstairs and show me whatever they've drawn that day. It's brilliant.
I love it too. I've been sent remote again. My team proved we could do it through COVID, and they needed room in the office and sent us remote again. And it is
Mm.
so nice for me to be able to do the school runs when I need to, but then also I find I can work longer when I'm here because if I got to go leave to coach, I don't have to drive home, get changed, get packed up. I can be ready and work until it's time to actually leave. And my team's more responsive. And, sometimes when you've worked really hard all morning and then it's lunch hour, you can rip out a quick pod and it's fun.
Yeah.
I don't think we should skip by Chippy Lane that quick. So you guys both know what I'm talking about. So Tony, do you have any funny Chippy Lane stories of people watching, or what would you order when you got there?
I met a YouTuber on there. I can't remember his name now. It's gone.
Then he can't be
Wow.
that famous.
No, no, he's a Welsh YouTuber. He does he did like impressions and stuff going back a little while. But yeah, I was obviously blind drunk because you never sober on Chippy Lane. I saw
Mm.
him and I made a very big fuss because I didn't really know what to do.
So you were that into a YouTuber, eh? You sound like my kids.
Oh, I'm a kid at heart.
So what would you order if you got back there?
See, it's just chips and curry. Just keep it simple.
Is that simple? Curry on chips? Ugh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I don't dabble into curry, it makes me smell bad, I think. Comes out my pores.
yeah, maybe.
Okay. Chippy Lane's a cool place, and I hope enough people buy raffle tickets that I can get there June 14th. I'll probably go every night if anybody wants to see me. I'll be there at some point to crush food and have fun. Gethin, what do you have any funny Chippy Lane stories, and what would you order?
I can't really remember much when I'm down Chippy Lane, but I haven't
I
really
wonder
met
why.
probably just a fellow drunk person. But no, he was either going to be well back then. This is where a lot of listeners are going to bloody hate me, but I used to be a vegetarian for some reason. I
Oh,
don't know
get
why.
Well,
Back in
I
the day,
I
I,
appreciate that you said you used to be and now you're not.
oh hell no, give me a steak any day now. It was just I don't know what it was. I just went through a phase. No, I remember what it was. I My mother made us Sunday roast or something, and I just turned around and said I was going to be awkward. I said, "No, I'm a vegetarian now," and didn't know that she had a vegetable lasagna in the freezer. So she made that. But I used to have quite a lot of cheese, chips, and beans when I was younger.
Cheese, chips, and beans. So that's kind of like a poutine, but you're throwing beans on there.
Yeah, but if I go down there now, it'll probably end up being a kebab or something, and I'll probably end up having food poisoning.
Well, they can't kill me. I keep eating them. Every time I go back, I have a kebab, and they don't really taste that good, but they
Yeah,
they do what you need them to get.
yeah,
But so chips, cheese, and beans. It's kind of like poutine, but you're switching the gravy for beans, eh?
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I grew up on that. That was my go-to food quite a lot when I was younger in uni and in college and what have you. So
Okay. Everybody Chippy Lanes differently.
yeah,
so
Um, so Tony,
I found him. Just to jump back a second. His name is Schieffer Bates, and he has 314,000 subscribers on YouTube.
314,000 subscribers. That's a
Yeah,
lot. He
that's
must
yeah.
he must have some kind of marketing team.
I jump back to Chippy Lane. I used to work the doors in Cardiff when I was a student, and go-to response would be I was in the pub by Burger King. Straight down there, take a right, you won't miss it. There'll be a lot of people eating, trust me.
What chip for
Yeah,
Chippy Lane, you mean?
Chippy Lane. So yeah, I think I'm overdue commission, to be honest. The more I
Um,
think about it.
Chippy Lane is it's one there's nowhere else like it when you get after midnight to about 4 a.m. on, Sunday morning, I guess it is, after a Saturday night in Cardiff, Wales. Man, the sights you can see. Oh,
Absolutely.
do you know
Cardiff
my
at the same.
so shout out to the Cardiff Canucks that it's their inaugural season and they just
Yeah,
won an overtime of the quarterfinals to move on to the semifinals in their first year of existence. And my best buddy in hockey, Hendo, that I had to protect for years, Starts this franchise in Cardiff where he settles and is building hockey and the puppies for years, and now a lot of them play for him. And to see what they're doing, and then he sprinkles in some veterans that are former Devils or old good guys that just love hockey, and you see them do that. My fun Chippy Lane story is one of the testimonials I went back for. Me and him went out on the Thursday night before all the boys were around, and I watched him drop his chicken chips and curry on Chippy Lane. Like, he dropped them on the ground, and he just used his big paws and just picked it up because it fell face down in one of those containers, just straight down. Picked it up with his paws, put it back in the container, and then just started mucking it up. And well, him and his whole family got sick that weekend. I don't know why.
No, totally unrelated. It's got to be.
There's no way that it could be because he ate food on that. I don't know if there's a 5-second rule on Chippy Lane, because once it hits that ground, I think I'm a better person than that, and I'm not going to do it. But well done, Trevor, with coaching, building a team. But the way he can muck it up on Chippy Lane is like no other by this, like that's something. Oh, so who's the team clown? I think every team has like a clown in the room that tries to be funny, whether they are or not,
We got a couple, I think, haven't we?
I was about to say who isn't a clown is probably a better question. We the one person that springs to mind instantly. We got this guy. His name's David Mayhew. We call him Mayhem. So I thought he said. We moved our training times from 7 till 9 to 8 till 10. And he was always late for the 7 o'clocker. He's always late, like 5-10 minutes, nothing serious, but always late. So we moved to 8 o'clock, and he's still 5 or 10 minutes late.
You just can't get it done, eh?
Yeah, I just can't. But he does have a lot of food before training. I believe he strolled. Is it Rigos? Were you there? I'm sure you were there, Gav. Yeah, he strolled into the changing room and said, "Sorry, I'm late. I was just having some beef Wellington."
Really?
Before training, that's a bold statement to make.
Well, I can't believe you guys are still running around after a ball at that age, I can't imagine eating and then having to play ball hockey.
No. Like 4 o'clock
No,
is
I
like
think
food.
it can be tough. We've had a couple of ice hockey players and inline hockey players turn up,
Yeah.
and they do tend to be sick because they don't realize you're constantly running for like your 30 or 40-second shift. You're not coasting.
You can't glide.
No, so they're like, what the hell? Like, well, this is why it's great to get your cardio up, but not when you've had, well, unless you're Ashley, it's really hard to have a hangover and play. But unlike Ashley proved, because we all went out for his 40th birthday, Tony and a couple of other guys set it all up on the quiet, and how he turned up the next day to play in a game, I do not know.
Those things can happen in hockey. It's, if hopefully he dug down deep and got through it.
Yeah, he was. There was a few shades of grey on that bench.
I actually know ball hockey because, when I was playing pro and living in my hometown, Elmira at the time, this would have been like my Germany days. My buddy set up a ball hockey league in the summer, and I thought, well, it would help me. I don't really like just working out by myself. I would rather play a game and give me a reason to run around. So I thought it was a good reason to get running in, and then see a bunch of the boys, and they did it right. He got everybody to just register, and then the 4 coaches, because we're all a small town and know each other, they would get together and have a draft and draft their teams. And then he made t-shirts. They were like the Leafs, the Nordiques, the whatever. Every team had their NHL with their numbers, and he would break it into 4 teams. And then after the games, whatever night it was, Thursday, whoever went to the local bar, the Central Tavern, 10% of everything spent that night went to the year-end fund, and then whatever team won it got that money to celebrate that night at the bar. And they had a nice trophy. I did win it one time, no big deal. But when you get on a full-sized ice pad and there's only 5 guys out there, it's a lot of running. I'm never playing ball hockey again. but I'd be out there in my knee brace. It was after my knee injury, and yeah, ball hockey is exhausting.
Yeah, we did in the Devil setup years ago. We did Newcastle a few times, but we'd go up the day before. We'd rock up to the rink and we'd die in to start with. Like it's not even close to being funny, and then you think, oh, it's 5-on-5, isn't it? It's great. No, falls tournament.
Mm,
And I mean, they were fit people. I've never been overly fit myself, but good grief.
mm.
I'm sure if we had a few people thrown up in the bin after the first game, it doesn't help anyone.
So where is Aberdare? Point me in that direction from the Big Blue Tent or Chippy Lane.
So from Chippy Lane, it's northwestish, about 20 miles.
20 miles? So not
Yeah,
far.
no, middle of the valleys, really.
Are you guys good?
Um, Trying to be humble, but yeah, we're doing okay, aren't we?
When we want to be, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Well,
we the last proper tournament we entered with Ball Hockey UK. We played the Ravens and
Lutterworth.
Lutterworth, and we won the tournament without conceding a goal.
Not one goal. Aaron didn't even slip one in on you.
No, no. I was an Eddie, so he wasn't close.
Well, that it sounds fun. Winning is fun, right?
Oh, yes.
It's like the opposite of losing. God, coaching that senior game there when you get thrown into it down 3-0, and then once they scored the second empty net goal, and then it was 5-2, and there's still like a minute left. For how hard those guys have tried, how much they cared, and then you saw everybody really upset on the bench, and you're standing there above them, seeing how upset they are. It was tough for me because it's the opposite of winning, and when you give her everything and still don't win, it sucks. So it's way better finding a way to win, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's hard, like for me, because obviously I can't play anymore. Watching the boys sort of give everything they've got and still come a little short. We played the Thunder recently. We beat them in Cardiff. They came up to us and they beat us like was it 6 or 7?
Is this the Cardiff Bay
But
Thunder?
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
How do I know so many ball hockey teams in Wales? Is my creepy stalker neighbor on that team now?
No, he's gone twice. Dragons, Geth,
Oh,
maybe.
Danny
That's
Perkins.
it, yeah.
Yeah, Dragons. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was on the Cardiff Bay Thunder, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a suitcase in the ball hockey world, eh? He must be getting creepy with guys.
We were playing with it. We were on the same team with the Cardiff Devils ball hockey club back in the day, and I remember when we I think it was Newcastle. We were the underdogs. We won the whole thing, and then we went out for a couple of drinks after, and we went to this club, and I just turned to Danny and I was like, I feel really old now because there's like all these 18-year-olds jumping around. We were like, mid-20s, late 20s, and we were like, no, I'm not going to stay much longer. I'm feeling really old. And I was back then.
That reminds me of Matthew Meyer's testimonial, and we went to that Heidi's place downtown Cardiff, and music's really loud in those bars in Cardiff at night, and like really loud. And once you're like old and you just played a hockey game and you haven't played in a long time and you're fat and old, you can be quite exhausted a bit, but you're still going out. But we went into the bathroom. They have a big bathroom there, but because it was so loud out there, we couldn't really talk and catch up and see each other. So it ended up in the bathroom. It's an infamous night, really. I was in there with like legends. It was me, Jono, Dowdy, Hendo, Big Lou, Franny, and like it was all just us in a bathroom just shooting the shit about hockey and the seasons. And it was hilarious because we just wanted to talk hockey and see each other, and we didn't go out to the bar where all the commotion was. It was like the longest shit ever. We were in the bathroom for like hours. So I know what you're talking about, but yeah, Danny P, as you call him, he's my creepy stalker neighbor. Him and Sarah lived in the same
Yeah.
apartment complex and both had my jerseys, and we became friends, so then they also became my creepy stalker neighbors. because they have my jerseys,
Yeah, yeah.
right? That's
Oh,
creepy if you live in the same building and you're wearing my jersey. I find it weird every time I see somebody wear my jersey. Oh God. Do you, so Tony, you said you did a lot of research before today. I'm doing a new thing with the podcast where I don't really write down any notes and I just go with it. So if your research team got hot, what do you have to bring up today?
well, a lot of it is we've sort of skirted over. Just as the history of sort of ball hockey in South Wales and how we formed and how we're at where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, we had, like Geth mentioned here, the Devil setup. That was that was fantastic. And we were all early 20s, if not younger, just driving around the country, flying around the country at some point as well, running amok.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have fond memories. I say fond memories. Noddy, Elson, you know Elson?
Jamie?
No, his brother. In fact, Jamie was there as well.
I don't know Jamie's brother. I know Jamie.
Yeah. So Jamie is Jamie was driving the van, and we got me and his brother in the van. I got cross-checked through the boards, like clean. I mean, I'm a big guy as well. I got sent flying. So we're sat in this van. We got all the kit in there. It's toxic, and I can't sit up straight because obviously I've been whacked through the boards with great force. So I'm sort of angled, trying to get my back right. And then we got his brother sleeping on my shoulder. He's driving the van with both the windows open in the rain because, there's like 15 guys kit in there that have been running around all day, all smell of alcohol as well.
Mm-hmm.
We call them the good days, but I don't really know why. Looking back, it wasn't fun. But yeah, that's where I met Gethin. Was on the Devils setup. Obviously, Danny P, Scotty Burbage Smith, but Scotty Smith as well. Um, Todd came along and ruined it all, to be honest. Put it mildly.
Did he say you
Yeah.
guys couldn't be the Devils because we're the Devils?
He sort of. He basically said because there was a few different Devils setups through Cardiff, and he kind of pulled the naming rights from everybody, and then was distributing them back out, and we just didn't get one. So the Thunder was formed at that point, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Thunder was already formed, so it was the Devils and Thunder, and we were rivals. Gloves dropped, hits thrown.
Oh yeah.
In
Do you guys
in ball
fight?
hockey,
Do you guys drop the
yeah,
gloves and fight?
there's a few videos circulating. We played
Um,
like a one-off, yeah, Canon, yeah, a one-off tournament, and yes, a hit got thrown by a Thunder player on a Devils player, and yeah, gloves were gone, benches cleared.
Really?
Yeah, bad blood. But yeah, we lost the Devils name. Then we formed the South Wales Samurai to sort of replace the Devils. So it was Samurai and the Thunder, and then the Samurai was winding down, and that's where the Skip Rats started.
Mm.
Because there was five of us, as I mentioned, the five who were traveling to Cardiff to make the Samurai happen. So we sort of, well, if we can do it down there, we can probably do it in a shithole that no one's heard of.
Um, you know who's a big ball hockey enthusiast is Franny. Um,
Yes,
he's
friend of
like
mine.
yeah.
he's like playing for Team Great Britain.
Um,
They
one of
call
our
I think they
boys.
call it the Masters, which means
The
you're
Masters.
old balls.
Yeah, he got old
Yeah.
balls.
But he's always been skinny and like like
Macho.
wiry. So and
Yeah.
he would love to muck it up, and I bet you he would enjoy being on shoes than skates, from what I've heard.
He so he's had a few run-ins, like because the South Wales Ball Hockey League. So the
I could see him
three,
pissing people off out there if I know
oh,
him.
yeah, there's three Thunder teams and two Skip Rats teams. Um, Franny is so fast on his feet. Obviously, he's ex-athlete, ex-pro athlete, and everything. Yeah, he's my only claim to fame is I managed to push him over once to stop him doing a wraparound.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you dropped the gloves and beat the wheels
Oh,
off him.
well, Kaz, our number 47, has come close a few times, Gav.
Yeah. Fond
With
memories.
Franny. Yeah.
Well, if Franny was man enough to be a rat back in the day playing pro for the Devils, and he's as little as I know he is, and he would love to stir the shit up. I can't
Yeah.
imagine what he's like in ball hockey, running around with some unconditioned
Yeah.
players.
his speed. Obviously, he's got the stick skills and shooting and everything, but his speed, he's just so fast.
Yeah, he's got a high
Yeah.
motor, eh? That's how he's
Oh,
always been able to do so much, work all day and then help the Devils all night and be a good dad.
mm.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have any questions for me while I try to figure out what to ask you guys next?
Let me have a
See,
think.
nobody has nothing. So,
Yeah, I got a couple.
okay.
Um, one of my greatest memories of watching you play is the Noble submarine on
Oh
Hudson.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you wish you hit him harder?
Did I hit him? Um, I mean, I had done it in my career a few
Yeah.
times, but my first year in the coast, I fought, well, at least a handful of times. A few of the times was because the other team thought I had done something dirty. Sometimes I had, sometimes I hadn't. And then I realized like what you get away with in pro without getting beat up. And then I stopped doing them. But then I went to Germany and there's like nobody fighting. And you weren't allowed to fight as an import because you get suspended a game and they
Oh,
want their imports playing. So even if I did start mucking it up and something was going to happen, they did not want me fighting. When I got to the UK, and everybody was fighting, and I never really knew how to do it or well.
yeah.
Um, I had said to some fellas, I'm like, before I retire, I'm fighting one more time. I have to test myself before I'm done. and then it just got laid right on a platter for me.
Yeah.
But I thought it was one of the dirtiest plays I've ever seen in hockey. And I was right there waiting for the drop pass. And I find if you're a team, it doesn't matter if you're the small skill guy or the big fighter or whatever role you play. If you're next up, you go. And when I saw that happen, I couldn't believe it, and I was right there, and then it happened. And if you rewatch the video, when they're talking about the suspensions from that game and what he had done, and they show it, and you see us fight for a little bit. I had been taught in the AHL to hang on for a little bit, and then what I would always try to do is kind of put my head in their armpit so they couldn't really hit me unless they hit the top of my head. I'd kind of keep skating forward, and have my head like in their armpit and then just swing up. But I held on for a bit, and then a guy in the AHL told me just throw one haymaker. And like I did throw it, and I held on for a little bit, and then I threw my haymaker and I just fucking missed. Fuck. You imagine if I would have hit him with it? God, it would have been something. The big blue tent might have exploded that night.
Yeah, man.
But I didn't. And then I went back to practice next week, and Todd's like, "Hey, Wally." I'm like, "Hey." He's like, "So we're happy you went and you were willing to do that. Did you know that Lee Salters, Josh Batch, and so were on the ice with you?" And I was like, uh, no, I was just playing the game.
Yeah. I was in the zone. Yeah.
But I think they probably could have done a better job in that circumstance. What are you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
I was there. I was right there.
Yeah.
I just found that guy such a clown that he's gonna fight me then, and he thinks that's it. That's paying the piper is fighting the little guy. It's like, so then every game I'm watching, once my knee's gone, like, so that was my second last game of pro hockey. I went to Belfast for the next game. Played with a huge knee that it was weird because it didn't hurt, but it was full of fluid, and they'd already drained it once, and then it got fat again, and then it locked after that game, and then it was over. And then like watching us play Coventry every time the rest of that season, I'd see that loser out there. Um, Salters would be screaming at him every face-off, "You're going me right now." And you could see him, like his butthole was right puckered up, and he looked like he was about to shit himself, and he would not fight any of our guys. And I thought it was embarrassing that you're going to try and hurt a guy that's playing in the UK, doing it for the love. None of us are retiring after, and an injury really screws us. and we're just going out there mucking it up and playing the game that we love. And then you intentionally try to injure a guy for no reason. There's nothing Carl Hudson ever did to that guy to deserve that play.
No.
Anywho,
No.
got me on a tangent again, didn't you?
Hey, easy. No, and one of my on the same tangent, one of my favorite YouTube videos is Andrew Lord versus Kevin Noble in Coventry.
Isn't that a good one?
Oh, it's on his knees still going. It's like, yeah, there's a few years of anger there.
Yeah, there was a bit of hatred there. That when the boys started sending me that video after it happened, when you've been back in the real world for a while, and he never did have to pay the piper that season, but then we still have each other's backs. It's like when I coach these kids now, it's like they're not on my team for a year. They're on my team for life. And when they give me everything they got, they're on my team. And Lordo did that for me as my player coach, as my buddy. There were lots of guys that tried to get him to fight, but Lordo really gave it to him that night.
Yeah.
Fun to
Yeah.
see.
Like Lino's trying to take him off, and it's like, yeah, you need more men to move him.
Yeah, Lordo could really get heated when he was playing, and he was passionate as they get, and that's probably what makes him such a good coach. You know?
He Quebec Majors. He's
Yeah,
gone to. Yeah, that's it.
the Halifax Mooseheads, which is one of the biggest junior programs in Canada.
Okay.
And home of the Donair. They love kebabs there too. They just have a different sauce on them. It's called Donair sauce, which I don't get into it. It reminds me of a sauce that would come out of a male penis, so I don't get into it. Won't do it. You know? I won't even try it. No. You muted yourself, Tony, if you're trying to talk.
Yeah, my dog's trying to cough a lung up by the sounds of things, so I'm just checking she's okay.
You're on it then. You must be into cybersecurity. You're on it there.
Yeah, I've got too many kids to not use the mute button, unfortunately.
So how long does your guys see? I'll ask Gethin this. How long does the season go? You guys play like the winter months or the summer months, or what are you doing?
Well, at the moment, we haven't got a league. That's hopefully something Tony's going to set up because there's like 3 tiers. You got tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And for some reason, there's not much
These are
involvement
all
with tier 3.
adults?
Yeah, and it's all mixed genders as well. So we play with obviously male and females. I think we got about 4 or 5 females on our team now, and they're improving every game. Especially Chrissy in goal because she's stepped up since Tony's had the injury. So she's 2 years now, Tone. She's been in goal now.
Yeah, around there.
So your tier 1 goalie's a gal?
We're tier 3, and she's yeah. So she just before Tony left, she had to retire. She had a little go in net, kind of like got the goalie bug, you could say, and then she's been in. She's recently got a call back, or she had a call back for Team GB for the Masters. So we're waiting to hear on that. We also got a defender, Josie, that joined us recently. She's gone for the under-20s GB as well. So she went for the second trial as well. So we got potential 2 Team GBs in our team at the moment.
So you're saying you're tier 3? You're saying you're the third team?
Third division, yeah.
Tony, you were on the third team and you started the team?
So yes. But no, right. Okay, so there's one Skip Rats team, and then in Ball Hockey UK, you've got tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Tier 1 is where all the elite ball hockey players are. They've got like Slovaks representing Slovakia and stuff, and they're
Right. So the Skip Rats are only in tier 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. I thought there was 3 Skip Rat teams, and you guys weren't even putting yourself on the top group. Like, come on, you started the team. You made it no matter what. I got you now. Now it makes way more sense. So has anybody fought my creepy stalker neighbor in a game? Because I bet Jay, like
he couldn't.
No, he's too nice. But like he likes heavy metal music and stuff. So I'm just guessing he could get the wires crossed out there and really start mucking it up out there. But then he's so nice off the ice. I'm thinking he's like a Chris Frank. You put him
Yeah.
in skates and a stick, and you're like, "Who are you? I thought we were friends." And then all of a sudden he cross checks you in the face, and then he suplexes you, and you're like, "Frankie, I'm
Where'd
not
that
your
come from?
bitch." So then I tried to crush his testicle to let him know I wasn't his bitch, and he didn't punch me. It was a great day. But some people just get carried away when you get a stick and, well, shoes or skates on them, you know?
Yeah.
We used to. I'm sure you've been on a line with him, Geth. But in tournaments, like I'd end up on a line with him. He's a little bit more offensive minded. I've been a bit more defensive
Yeah.
minded. Um, he'd play lovely, a few shoves, nothing serious, and then something would happen, and you're looking at him, like you said, with Chris Frank there. You're looking at him going, "It's a different Dan Perkins. Like he's going to
So
kill
I
him."
Yeah.
so I do know how to read people. He
Yeah,
does
I
get the
think
wires
he's going to kill him.
crossed.
Yeah, yeah. It takes a lot to get him to get him cross, but yeah, there are times where I think he's just going to kill someone, and yeah.
I thought Chris Frank was going to kill me too, and well, he had been mean to me on the ice, and once you're someone's bitch, you're their bitch. And I went up and gave him a slash on the back of the legs to say, "Hey, Frankie, I'm here," and we hadn't seen each other since Western Michigan. And he turned around and cross-checked me like by the face, and I was like, "Frankie, I was just saying hi," and he was like, "Wally, you fucking pussy," and I was like, "Holy moly, Frankie! Okay, we're in one here." And then there was a dust up after a whistle, and I tried to go in to help my buddies, and he didn't let me, and he just grabbed me and like suplexed me. And then when I was trying to get up, he kept pushing me down, and I couldn't get up. And then I got right in his face. But then the next face off, or whenever the next dust up happened, I didn't like spear him in the balls, so it wasn't a penalty. But we got in each other's faces, and I knew he didn't wear a jock, because that's crazy. Because when I played with him at Western Michigan, he never wore a jock, and I thought, do you not want to protect him? Like, and your boys, the big
Yeah.
guy and the boys, you got to protect them. And he wouldn't wear a jock, and I thought it was the craziest thing ever. So I never forgot it. And then when I see him like 7, 8 years later, and we're playing in the UK, well, I just put my stick between his legs, and I just lifted as hard as I could. Um, and he was right in my face, and I was waiting for him to punch me and like knock me out, but he just took it and got mad at me and tried to get my stick out of the way. And that's when I realized, Frankie, I'm not your bitch, and you're not going to punch me. And even if I try to crush your testicle, we're still brothers. Fun stuff. I
Yeah.
haven't got to do anything like that in a long time.
Probably for the best. When he was done with the season, whatever season it was, he was selling off his equipment. I was a left shot, so I bought one of his sticks, and I just come from jiu-jitsu training in Cardiff, and he
Frank the
called me.
Tanks.
Yeah, yeah. It's unfortunately he's in three pieces now. But yeah, I said I was sweating, I had my gear and everything on. I said, "Oh, I've just come from jiu-jitsu, obviously in Cardiff. I've come to buy a stick," and he told me I was crazy for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Buddy, I've watched you all season play ice hockey, and you think I'm the crazy one? Like, you've got more than a few screws." Jeff, did you ever see his stick lift in the tent? He stick lifted
Oh yeah.
someone, and their stick hit the ceiling. Just
Mm.
went,
I
"Whoop."
remember that.
Yep, up it went. Hit the ceiling, came back down, and the guy's looking at him like, "Yeah, do something."
Um, well, I find it neat. We're talking about Chris Frank, and you guys know him in Cardiff. Like, we
Yeah.
both went to Western Michigan, and he was one of my puppies when I was a senior. So it was my last year, it was his first year. And I'm in a group chat with all those guys that were my freshmen my last year. Um, and then I'm in one with the guys my class. And now I see what Western Michigan's doing. And I always said that school had everything you need to be a powerhouse. And when I went there and saw what it was, I had never felt more at home in a place in my life. And had a great 4 years there, other than not winning enough hockey games. And now they have this coach that's promoting his players. He's getting them to pro, he's getting them to the NHL, and they're smashing everybody. And now it's a place everybody wants to go. And it's the funnest school in the world. And now they're winning. They have won their league. They are now booked their ticket to the Frozen Four for the first time ever, which is the final four NCAA teams of all of college hockey. My old school's going there, and so is Chris Franks and all these guys that went there. And we are the proudest alumni ever that it is the program it always should have been. And it's really neat to see because sometimes cultures aren't like built overnight, but like I know the Bronco brothers are as close as any team out there. And seeing them do this and being on national TV in the USA, it's pretty neat. Because the Bronco guys have always been as tight as hockey teams get. We just didn't win enough games back in the day, you know?
Yeah.
He didn't punch me when I tried to crush his testicle. That means we are friends. So anywho, I think it's neat to see, and cultures are great, and that's what I love about the Cardiff Devils culture is they've had the same core there for a long time. And Joey Martin, Batchy, Bouncy, Richie, they all have testimonials. They all deserve testimonials, and I can't wait to celebrate the GOAT, eh? Like, what an impact he's made in Cardiff.
Yeah.
So when he signed, me and Adam and I think a few other friends used to volunteer on the ice. So we'd be doing like 50-50 shippers back sales, and I'd be driving the car on the big blue tent ice as well, in period breaks. And we were all stat geeks. Like the Devils are linked to this person's elite prospects to see what's going on. But yeah, we watched him play one game and we all said the same thing. He's too good for this league. He shouldn't be here. He is way too good for this league. He's got everything that makes him a great player. And he's obviously stuck around since. It's been incredible.
Yeah, and it was cool to see all the winning that happened after I left, and he was running amok. Him and Hoth are like leading forward and defenseman every year, and it was pretty cool that Lordo brought in all those guys that season when they had finished 9th place, and then you see the GOAT start his Cardiff career that year, and then you see what he's done there. And then you see how many kids wear 88 Martin jerseys and have started playing hockey because they think winning's fun and hockey's fun. He's really made an impact on that town. And I heard that this testimonial is nearly sold out already, and we're months out.
Wow.
Are you guys going to be there to watch my fat ass play hockey? If people buy raffle tickets for my Walton 18 jersey?
Hoping to. I haven't booked tickets yet, but I'm hoping to be there. And I will share. If you put a raffle post up, I'll share it on the club account for you as well.
That would be lovely.
Yeah.
I will.
New target audience.
Yeah. It's interesting doing this. It's like for the people that are on my team, they're on my team. Doesn't matter what league you play in, doesn't matter what you're doing. If you show me you're on my team, let's do this thing. And you guys telling me you'd send me a Walton 18 jersey just because I talked into my phone for a minute. I do hate it. I hate talking in my phone. I've been asked to make some videos for former teammates and stuff, and happy birthday messages. And every time talking into your phone with nobody on the other end is really, really weird, you know?
Yeah.
But I did it.
I do have a question for you, actually.
Okay.
Bit of a stick geek question, I guess.
Oh.
What is the weirdest hockey stick curve you've ever seen, and why is it Doug Clarkson's?
It's not Doug Clarkson's.
Oh, no way.
It's not.
It's like that.
His thing was pretty normal. It was a toe curve.
Yeah.
But I actually have the weirdest one. All my stuff might fall down when I get it. Hold one sec. Oh, got it. Doug Clarkson's is not the weirdest one. This here is Ryan O'Reilly's sign stick
Basically flat, isn't it, Riley's?
From when I helped him on the ice a couple summers ago. He wanted a guy that can move pucks where he needed them, and I do still have that skill set, even though I can't move. Check this out.
What?
So he's got like a he's got like a thingamajiggy at the end there.
It's got a little nippon.
So then I had seen him use it for years without, and then it became me and him just on the ice, the two of us together. And then I watched him use it, and well, he's a smart guy, and you watch him play hockey, he's a smart guy, and you see his off-season training, he's a smart guy. And I was just so curious about his curve. And then, like, when I look at it right now, it's way weirder when you see it in person than like, look at that tip at the end. So
Yeah, you win. Yeah.
so the weird part about it is when you see him play or practice, when he gets it on this part and the puck's sitting here, he can like toe and whip it. But then when you do a backhander's off your stick before it gets to the end. So it doesn't get in the way of that. And then I saw him do a wraparound, and he was still behind the net. And then the tip came around the corner and just flicked it in. And I was like, so maybe you're smarter than everybody. And why isn't everybody trying this? Because he can skate down the ice and put it in that pocket and then pull it in and snap. And like, you're never shooting off the toe. And if you are, you're screwing up anyways. So it's interesting, but this is my favorite stick I own. After I helped him out a handful of times or so, when it was the end of the summer, he was going back to the NHL. We got off the ice, and I had got to take the kids I was going to coach the next season. Each time I'd go out, I'd bring different kids I was going to coach or head coached, so they'd get that experience out on the ice with them. And he let me do that, and I helped him. And then after the last ice time, he just cut the tape off, signed it, and then gave me the stick and said, "Here, Wally, do whatever you want with it." And I was like, "Okay, I'll keep it."
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the weirdest. That's the weirdest curve I've ever seen.
Yeah, you win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doug Clarkson's is like a mild version of that.
It's just a toe curve, isn't it?
Yeah, we've never I've never seen it. I've all seen like the neutral curves, and Hoff's is slightly weird. I can't remember what code it is, but I remember Danny P using Clarkson stick for a little while. Great wrist shot, then someone broke it, so he wasn't best pleased.
Okay. Let's see here. Do you guys have any pregame rituals? Do ball hockey players have pregame rituals? Like, or do you just go out there and muck it up?
One of the club goalies he basically disengages from the entire room, puts his earphones in, and you can't speak to him, you can't look at him.
Goalies are fucked, aren't they?
Oh, they're weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be left pad first, then right pad, but other than that, nothing major.
I always would put the left skate on first, then the right skate, the left shin pad, the right shin pad, you know, all that shit. But you know what I found weird about Ben Bounds? Well, I wouldn't say he's that. Nobody's normal, but like, he's like, for the career that guy's put together, he's like the most normal goalie I played with. Other than he has a tramp stamp. Other than that, and you have a hard time understanding him speak, but like, he was just such like a relaxed, fun guy to be around. Didn't have all this weird stuff. Didn't get mad at you for hitting him in the head in practice. He'd just be like, "Oh yeah, no, just out here practicing. I'm fine." And it's interesting playing for a goalie like that. That's just calm, relaxed, just out there doing it. Like he does make a team want to play harder in front of him because he is such a good dude, and it's amazing the career he's put together.
Polar opposite to Carruth, then.
Well, they are, but every goalie's different, and Carruth is the ultimate gamer that when you get in his face, he's going to push right back, and he ain't going to give an inch. And yeah, he gets as pissed off as anybody if he's losing. You know.
Yeah.
Gethin, you got any questions while we're still on this thing?
No, mine's your time in Germany, because I follow the Cologne White Sharks. I'm a big Colin High fan, but I suppose with every club you've gone to, what's the fan base like? Obviously, because I used to have a friend in Hanover, and he came to watch the Devils years ago, and he just couldn't believe that how the players were with the fans.
Yeah, I
He
agree
couldn't
with that.
believe that you could mingle with us, and he said he didn't have that in Hanover. They were like football stars. You see him on the ice, and that was it. And it was only the charity stuff that you would see him in. You couldn't just go to the bar and see them and then have a chat. Because I remember
Uh,
time,
yeah,
you used to have Gretzky's bar above the Welsh National Ice Rink. Players used to stay there after, and they mingle with the fans. Obviously, you got the puck sponsorships,
that, that
testimonial night.
that's that's a full question for a guy like me. I went to Germany at like 23 years old,
Yeah,
not knowing what I'm getting into, but didn't think I was making the NHL the way my first year pro went. So I thought I'm just going to go now, and try and make the highest European leagues I can and make a career of this. Um, when I got to Germany, I couldn't speak German. I was very nervous. It was very different. The fans are as intense as you can get in all of hockey in all of the world. They love you when you're winning. They don't when you're
yeah,
losing. Um, but when you have that language barrier, I don't know if the German players got talked to fans much either, but like we had like fan clubs, and I remember a story in Bietigheim. We're playing a big rival, and it was almost like soccer hooligans or football hooligans. Like our one fan club, there's two of them or whatever. One fan club got into like a full-blown street fight outside the arena with the other team's fans, and like they got banned from the arena for the rest of the season. And it was, when I heard about it, I'm like, you're telling me I'm warming up and getting ready to just go play a hockey game, and you got this shit happening outside the arena? I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
But in Landshut, you would play the game, then you'd go up to the VIP room, which was for the very important people. And they would be the people, there'd be a full spread of food and drinks for everybody, and you'd mingle with the very important people, but you would not see fans. You just play the game, go up there, and then leave. And then in
yeah,
Bietigheim, it was the same thing. You kind of just play the game and leave, and you might go into the VIP area for a beer. Um, and it was when I was injured that I'd be in the VIP area more, and my knee was hurt for the whole year, that I got to know more people and chat with them because I wasn't playing anyways. But I didn't build any relationships with that many fans, unless they were around the team, unless they were like the announcer or the equipment
yeah.
guys. Like I didn't build relationships with fans. And then I went to Cardiff, and Todd said at the start of that season, I know the game's changed and people don't have the beers they used to. Um, well, sometimes the fun they used to, but he said that a touch point with a fan can make them a fan for life. It can get them into hockey. Um, so he told me the reason I got Twitter was because he told us that it was a good thing and that he wanted us to interact with fans because it gets them into it, which isn't always a good thing. But he also said if we win 7-0 or you lose 7-0, you were going out to that bar to mingle with everybody and have a beer or a water before you go home, because meeting the people and getting to know them gets them more invested. And I was fully on board because I had Colby and then had Zoe the middle of that season. And I was busy, but like my night out was the big blue tent, and it was going to play the game. And then I was going to get to go to the bar and mingle and have beers, and people would buy me beers, and it was nice. And so then I would drink them. And then I got to know a bunch of people. And it's interesting how many Cardiff Devil fans I have like an actual relationship with, where I spent 6 years in Germany and there's none of that. And
Yeah.
you look at who listens to my podcast now, and it's like 70% in the UK. And it's like, well, that's because you have a relationship with those people. But the cool thing for me when it was like that was some of my favorite teammates ever um, are from Landshut, Germany. Uh, they're the hockey guys around there. And me and Dominic Hammer and Andreas Geipel played our first year together in Landshut. And then the three of us all switched to Bietigheim all together. So we had a magical run to the finals. We come a goal away. Then we go to the big budget team in Bietigheim then, and we win it all. And stayed with them for a couple more years, and they're my favorites. And back in Landshut, my first year in Germany, well, they have a charity game, I guess, every few years. And Hammer and Geit be playing it, and they know how close I am with them. And they've invited me back for a charity game in 2026. And they're like, can you come? And I'm like, flights are expensive. There's nothing more I'd want to do than come back and see everybody and do it. And they're like, well, give us 24 hours. We got a good network of sponsors and people in the area. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. With it, so they said, let us find a sponsor. We might be able to. Within 24 hours, they wrote back and said, we've confirmed a sponsor. Your flight and expenses are paid for. We'll let you know when the game is. And I only played 1 year there 18 years ago. And for them to be willing to pay for my flight and expenses to go see people and play a charity game means the world to me. And I also find it very strange that it'd be me, because I've had some fans send me some stuff, and they've had a team for 75 years. And if you're having a charity game, that's a lot of people to pick from. And that they're doing this for me, well, it means the world. And I can't wait to go back, because Germany is really fun. But you're right, you don't get the interaction with the fans, but there's also the language barrier. And also it's just how a team runs a team. It's like, if I was running a team in Germany, I don't know if you want to hear what the fans have to say. And if you lose 7-0, you don't, whether it's in Cardiff or anywhere. But having a relationship with the fans is important, and getting to know the kids around the arena, the ones that, like, it only takes a second to say something to, and it can change their whole day. And then all of a sudden you're their favorite player. And it's like, there's a lot of players out there, when they're playing pro, they're only focused about themselves and their career and what they're doing. And it literally takes like 5 seconds to say something to a kid, or like take a picture or sign something. And that kid could have that the rest of his life. And it's like, some people maybe just don't understand the impact while they're doing it that you can have, because we don't actually think we're that good.
Yeah.
You know? But German fans are rowdy. You see that block 13 now for Cardiff?
Yeah, I just think of European hockey as soon as I see it.
Well,
I think of
that's
Germany.
half the arena over there. Like, it's some of the videos you can see from 2007-8 when Landshut went to the finals and we lost in overtime in the final game. Some of the videos you can see of that crowd is it is just so hockey, and that I got to experience that and see it. You don't appreciate the things you're seeing while you're doing it, because you're so stressed out about winning and playing the game. But then when you can appreciate it later on in life and then rewatch those videos, you're like, wow, that was pretty neat. You know?
Yeah.
So Tony, you got kids too, then, it looks like.
Yeah. Come say hello.
You want to come? You want to come to the shed? Hi.
That's Brett Walton. He used to play the Cardiff Devils. And that's
Hi.
Gethin, who plays the Skip Rats.
I don't think she can hear us. You got the headset on, so. How are you?
Good.
What's your name?
Isabel.
Nice to meet you. How old are you?
7.
Do you play hockey?
No.
Little
You're-
bit.
A little bit? Yeah.
Yeah,
Dad's got you a stick. You whack the ball around. Yeah. It can be fun. Girls hockey's a thing over here in Canada. Maybe you should try and round up a girls team and start a hockey team, eh? That'd be fun, eh? Just don't let your dad put you in the blue skates, eh? Make sure they're normal skates. They're supposed to be black. Sound good?
Yeah.
Well, I heard your dad's ball hockey team's famous, the Skip Rats. I heard they're so famous they're going to send me a jersey, and I get to put it up with all my other jerseys. That's pretty cool, eh?
Birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool he started a hockey team, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah.
Well, nice to meet you.
Right.
Uh, Fun stuff every time.
That's how most of my meetings go and work as well.
I understand. I've been through COVID.
Yeah, they'll just sort of slide in the background, just see a faint little wave, and it's like, yeah, yeah, no.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. What else do we got? You guys have everything else before we shut her down? The only thing I got that's sad is I think players in the game are changing a bit. They're not they're new school. They're a little bit more different. And when you have Cameron Critchlow retiring, and then I heard Matthew Haywood is retiring after leading the Leeds Knights to another championship. And I mucked it up against him. He was a good, honest player and a great dude. And I'm planning on having him on again here right around when he's retiring. But seeing guys like that go out of the game, it makes me sad because then I think of Joey Martin, I think of Batchy, I think of Richie, I think of Bouncy, and I think, man, once my guys are out, I love watching and following teams I know the guys on and I know what type of dudes they are. And I feel like hockey's gonna miss the old school dudes.
Yeah, there's the same sort of approach with the NHL. We're gonna get to a point in a few years where there's no Crosby, no Ovechkin, and like, how do you? The NHL has always been Crosby and Ovechkin, as far as I was concerned. But yeah, it was weird when, yeah, the turnover. Like I've seen. So I started watching. I think it's 2009, 2010 with Matt Elich. I only know because I spent most of the season drunk, but I got a signature of his on a jersey somewhere in the attic. It's the only way I know things. But yeah, you've seen like the players like I remember, and it's like, oh, I remember like Tyson Splitsky and Brad Voth, and it's like, yeah, that was like 12, 13 years ago.
A lifetime ago.
Yeah, where's that gone? Where are those players gone?
I find it interesting when you see the new guys come up and they are as talented as hockey players get. They can shoot it like I haven't seen before. They can stick handle, but it's like, in my opinion, when it comes down to winning and losing games, it's actually who can muck it up the hardest. Like who actually goes out there and gives her harder than the other team and like dumps it in, forechecks, hits. And man, you can make talented players real scared real quick when they start getting hit. You know?
Jeez, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you play with Thomas Kirker?
Yes. Well, that was the year I got hurt.
Yes. So he went away, came back, and it was when Cam Jansen was in the league.
Right.
And I'll never forget Kirker, like lightning fast on his skates, going up the wing, and Cam just coming the other way, like Cam did, and Kirker just no, thank you, no,
Yeah.
just
No.
yeah, no, thanks, nope.
Cam Johnson was very good at angling guys into corners, and you couldn't get away from him when he came in on the forecheck. I saw him run a few D that year, and I'm like, when I go in on a forecheck, sometimes the D man spins away, he goes this way, he goes that way, and like I don't really get in there, and then all of a sudden I'm chasing him up the ice. When he went in on a forecheck, man, there was no getting away from that guy. No.
He was a pleasure to watch. Like I that season, obviously with Cam, it was great to watch. Just somebody who had no interest in the puck, didn't want to touch the puck.
When also for me, what I appreciate about him, which the Tyson Marks incident is what it was. It was interesting because I thought it was a clean hit, the game in the big blue tent. I thought the guy had his head down and cut across the middle and got blown up because he had his head down, and it was shoulder to the chest. Nothing dirty about it. But the next time we play them, well, he's our captain. He hit one of their best players, and Jansen was at him right from the start, barking at him. And then Marshy is a stand-up guy. He's as good as they get in hockey, and he's not a noble guy. Marshy said, well, let's just get it over with then. If I have to do this, and this is what you think you guys deserve for me hitting your player, then I'll do it. And Marshy told me numerous times that year that he's like, I missed grabbing them right at the start, and then all of a sudden just started throwing with them. And I'm like, why am I just throwing with Cam Jansen? I have to be way smarter than that. And it did happen. But what I appreciated about Cam Jansen was there were guys that would come from the NHL that had played a certain role. And then when they got to the UK, they tried to show everybody they were a goal scorer or playmaker. And it's like, well, you're not, and that's not what made you good. Cam Jansen came over and played exactly like he did in the NHL, and he was very effective. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a shame to watch. Like you saying about like Cam being a gentleman and stuff, is like Marshy went down, you could sort of see Cam was a bit like, shit, you know. That
Well,
was a bit that was serious.
yeah, and he would just want to fight, and I know he wouldn't have wanted it to turn out the way it did. But yeah, it did happen. But yeah, like it's interesting. Like if I were to build a pro hockey team, if anybody ever gave me a pro hockey team and said build it,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be those soft talented guys. We'd muck it right up. And if they were the goal scorers on the team, they better be able to do everything. They better be able to block shots. They better be able to penalty kill. And I think that's like having Joey Martin. It's like he has all the intangibles as the you want him to be your best player because he does all the things right. He's a good teammate first. And I find it neat with coaching these kids around here is the guys I'm with right now, some of them I've been with for 3 seasons now. And we have a winning culture. They expect to win. They don't accept losing. And then when I see my best players that I've been with for so long, play hockey harder than anybody else. And it's like, well, when your best players are doing that, everybody needs to buy in. And the captain I have, Brady Collins, he's a player. And then my son's a player too. And then I got some defensemen and other forwards that like they do it right and they don't give a shit about who scores the goals and assists. They just want to win. And they're going to go out there and try so goddamn hard that it's like, well, try harder than us because we care more than you. And I think that's the recipe to win. But what do I know? You know? But I'm really looking forward to my boys' weekend coming up here. Heading out Thursday, and well, it's do or die. And there's 8 teams in the tournament, and they're all the best teams in their leagues. And we get to go play the best, and we get to test ourselves against the best. And I get to do it with the kids I've been coaching for 3 seasons. Some of them I've only been coaching this season. It's like, well, let's see. Let's go play and see what happens, you know? Because I know what my guys are going to bring, and let's see what your guys bring because I love this competing thing. I love seeing who wins and loses in anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be interested. We'll keep an eye on that one, I think. That sounds fantastic.
Oh, it's as fun as it gets. And we won it last year, and seeing those boys, and then you go out on the ice when they actually did it and beat everybody. And like there were kids well, they were beside themselves that they actually did it. And it's like, well, you can. Like, just why not? Why can't the small town in Canada win? Why not? I mean, what do they have that you don't, you know? It's like, let's go do this thing. And as a coach, seeing it with under 13 kids and doing it for free, it actually cost me a lot of money to coach. I love it. And seeing those looks on those faces is priceless. And then I get to see them around town and we hug each other. I see the parents, they give me hugs or high fives. And it's like, yeah, winning changes everything. And you have it for life. You never forget it. You know?
Yeah.
I think we have the same mentality really with the Skip Rats. So like Aberdare is quite small, less than 30,000 apparently according to Google. Yeah, we go out there and it's like, why not us? You know, we're playing a niche sport in the UK, in Wales, and it's in the valleys, and it's not even ice hockey. It's just like a sub version of ice hockey. So we're playing such a niche version in a niche place, and we always sort of go in with that mentality of like, well, we've got all this against us. Why not? Let's go for it. Let's see what we can do here.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go out, you may as well win. you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Gethin, you got anything before we shut it down? I just say that for a guy that only played a season and a bit on the Devils and then helped out how I could, and then missing my buddies in hockey, I start doing this. For someone to ask for me to send you guys a video, I mean, there were times in my life where I wasn't too proud of what I'd done in hockey, because I didn't have the money I wanted when I was done. Didn't have a full-time job, didn't have work experience. And I'm like, so where did the game put me in life? I'm like, I'm in a tough spot here for like a few years. And for someone to reach out saying their ball hockey team wants a video to celebrate their 10 years, it's like, well, that's pretty neat for a guy that, just didn't do all the things I set out to do, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Gethin shared that video with me. I couldn't believe I was watching to start with because that's Smalley wishing my hockey club 10 years. What on earth? So obviously shared it to the chat, and there's a lot of boys in there. Like I'd say we're a slightly older club, Geth, and there's a lot of boys that were over the moon with obviously with the video is just fantastic. That's why it's straight up on socials. Like, look at this, look what we've got.
I think it's funny, but Gethin,
Yeah.
thanks for asking for that, because I have no problem if you want it. I really don't like talking to my phone that much.
No, but it's thank you for being you, because obviously you made an impact. Like you said, when I asked about the questions with the fans, you you've had a connection with the Devils fans, and some of us remember you, and obviously the podcast has helped as well to keep your memories alive. And yeah,
They're not
so I
dead.
just thought, no, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's fun to hear about the stories. It's like when you said earlier about keeping tabs on players he used to play with, and he's going to be missing. Every time I see like a former Devils we used to play with, I instantly listen to the podcast, and then it's got me then listening to other podcasts with other players he used to play, and it's kind of nice to hear the memories of a hockey player, really. Playing
Uh, it's the
in
same for me.
Germany,
It's
Denmark.
you play for a season with a guy. You may not really get to know him that well, and I may be able to undress him way quicker in an hour and a half in here talking about everything than I did a whole season of playing hockey with him, because you go, you play, you don't really sit down and chat about the whole deal. And
Yeah.
I did have someone reach out, like saying about the podcast. They're like, well, you're talking to like my heroes. And I was like, well, I'm just talking to my friends. They're like, no, you're talking to my heroes. And I'm like, oh, I guess I never really thought about it that way. But I find it very interesting, the passion for hockey in the UK. It is niche, but the people that are into it and they love it. And um, they have the right mentality that you want to go out there and muck it up, and then it's okay to have a beer with the other team after. You went out there, you gave your all, and it's kind of like the rugby thing. And it wasn't that way in Germany. You won or you lost, you were not having a beer with the other team after. And I'll never forget going out in the big blue tent lobby. We'd beat a team, and then they'd come out before they left for the bus, and they'd have a beer too. And then both teams would be like mingling with the fans. And I'm like, where am I? I'm like, this is how I want it to be. It's like, yeah, let's go out there and muck it up. Who wins, who loses? Let's go do our best. But then look at yourself in the mirror when it's over and be like, did I suck? Yes. Okay. Tell me I suck because I agree. you know? Well, thanks for making the time for me, guys, my busy schedule. And hope you guys had fun. I did. It was nice getting to know you guys. Because you get a random message, you're like, so who exactly is this? And it's way better putting a face to a name, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go Skip Rats, go Devils, go Kincardine Canucks. We got a big weekend ahead, and go Western Michigan Broncos, and
Yeah.
go Cardiff Canucks. I got a lot of hockey teams to cheer for these days.
Yes.
And this has been another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Robbie, Woody, and Wally.